Jen.
Man, 10 seconds. Are you ready for this, Nikki?
I'm ready. They better be ready in here.
Let's do it, boy. Let's
Better
do
be
it.
ready to
Boy,
see
you're
these
back.
faces.
What's this, man? Is this 2 months?
Back your beliefs. I just said back day. Who would have thought?
Is this 2 months, bro?
Shout out to Drew Linder. We're doing this podcast for 2 months, and he told me to start deadlifting properly. Today is the day. Episode 8. What are you drinking, man?
Finally started doing some deadlifts.
Finally started doing some compound
Yo, I don't know.
exercises.
Honestly, man, I don't know if you guys follow Nick. You should follow him. He posts like his running form, and oh my god, guys, it's atrocious. Like we need to help this guy. If you know anyone who can teach people how to run in upper New York area, send them his way. I'll pay the bill. Like honestly, I'll work doubles. I'll do whatever. I'll close deals. Whatever I got to do to pay bills for Nick Blay to learn how to run the right way by the Philadelphia Marathon.
Let's get like a StreamYard runner, maybe. Maybe that's a thing we could do since they're just powered by them. I wish people would start memeing it. I want to get to a point where I'm popular enough that people will start memeing my runs instead of my close friends. Like I want my close friends to make fun of it, of course, and I want people to just meme the hell out of it. I'm going to work on it.
It's kind of like you said, man, when you start getting haters, that's when you made it, right?
100%. And I'm going to be more intentional on my running form. And what do you know? That's actually what we're talking about today. Today's topic today, folks. That's what I used to say when I worked up here in upstate New York, folks, is intentionality, right? And I think it's good to start off there is when I was working and getting paid, I was a 9-to-5er. We all were once, right? I didn't have any intention on what I wanted to do with my money. So that's when you get into your ever never-ending spiral, and especially at a restaurant, don't even get me started. It's a lot more of a spiral, quite literally. But I think it's what we started learning recently, especially I can attest to this. I don't know about yourself, Andrew, is when I joined the real estate business, I started hearing this word intentional a lot. I started to really like the word and dive into it. So, I mean, let me ask you, man, like what does the word intentional mean to you?
I think the first thing I think of is planning. Like when I hear like intentional, I also like the word that comes together with that is definitely planning for me, right? Because if I'm going to be intentional with my morning routine, right? I want to make sure that I plan out everything that I need to do. I remember one of our first conversations, and I was saying I was so intentional with my time. I know you bring this up a few times a week, but about me, I'll go make my coffee before I get in the shower so my coffee's ready for me when I get out of the shower, right? It's just being intentional with the time, and that just takes planning. So I think the biggest thing that comes to mind to me is when I'm being intentional with anything, I'm just planning out what I'm about to do. Right.
Let me ask you, bro, why do you make the coffee before you go into the shower?
I'm not wasting time, right? Because when you're intentional with something, you're being really intentional with your time.
So what it sounds like is you're planning with a purpose.
Exactly.
Right. And that breaks it down, right? You could plan. That's the first step, right? But why are you doing what you're doing? And you start to break it down. And I like this is like you start to become delusionally obsessive. And the word delusional might have a negative connotation to you when I say that. And when you first hear it, it's totally normal. But delusionally optimistic and that obsession is so powerful to you don't want to be like the other people, right? That's why you're tuned into this podcast, right? You want to back your beliefs. You want to back your new beliefs, your new habits, and your new standards. So being optimistic and being delusional about that and recommitting to these intentions every 24 hours is super, super vital. So, I mean, it could be as little as something with Andrew making the coffee, right? And he does it for a purpose, right? So when he drinks that turmeric coffee every day in that clear cup, right? He's going to crush it on the phones, right? He's going to make a bunch of calls. He's going to have a great tonality, and he's going to be energized on the phone, right? And that's the intentionality behind it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is when you start becoming intentional is what it does is you stop wasting time. And when you start realizing how important your time is, it makes you want to be more intentional with everything. You know, if you go throughout your day and you don't know what you have to do, you'll look back when you put your head, on your pillow and you're like, damn, I just wasted so much time throughout my day. But when I wake up in the morning and I know exactly what I have to do, there's really no room for me to waste time because I'm just performing tasks throughout the day.
It's a great point, because you're not wasting time, because you start to respect your time.
So much.
When
So
you look
much.
at time as a currency, bro, and listen, we got 3 more months until the end of next year, right? What do you want to accomplish? People often overestimate what they can do, within such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But really, when you're intentional and you break all of this down, you can, like you said, when you're on your bed at the end of the night, you can recollect all of those wins and at what time they happened.
For
Right?
sure. And it goes back to if you look at Ed Milet's book, The Power of One More, right? He literally breaks down his day into 3 days.
I was just going to talk about that next. So it's crazy that you say that. I literally wrote this down. This is how intentional Ed Milet is.
Right. You're breaking your day down, right? And like literally, I'm living 3 or 4 days in one day. When someone's waking up, like your boyfriend's waking up in bed with a bag of Cheetos in his hand.
Bro, there must have been someone that actually has done that recently. That's why you're saying
that. So like that's your life right there. Meanwhile, Nikki Vlay got in his whole morning mindset. He just killed it. He just killed his mindset in the morning. Boom. Day one, ready to go. He just smashed the gym, went on a 10-mile run. He's working on his form. He's getting his calls in. Like he literally just lived 4 days in one day, right? And you just got out of bed and Cheetos got fucking Cheeto hands.
Cheeto dust, yeah. And it's funny too, because you mentioned like the 4 days, right? Is there can be many intentions break upon this, right? Who knows? Your day 4 at the end, that could be your unwinding time. That could be when you are going to reset. I'm not going to reset for 5 hours myself, but just saying, like, it all has a place, right? And people think you can't have this balance when I have 4 different days, but it's quite literally the exact opposite, bro. Is when we become super intentional with our time, we actually develop this respect for, each minute we're achieving something.
So Nick, it sounds like to me though, what you're saying is that when you're respecting your time, you just realize the things that aren't important that you do every day.
Correct. Whether it's, and you guys can, I would encourage you to, really start to write some of this down as you're living throughout the day. And when you're doing something, say, hey, is this benefiting where I'm looking to go? Is this benefiting my purpose? Right. I want to get 6 figures. Right now I want to get 5 figures in my editing company so I can start to buy properties for sub 2. If I'm watching Andrew Tate right now, is that benefiting my goal? Absolutely not. Right. So we got to really put things into perspective here to see, what are you spending your time on? What are you consuming? Because everything that you consume, that's directly correlated with your state of being. And that's why sometimes, and it's normal, right? We're human beings, but it's sometimes where if you're not clear and if you don't have that purpose, you might just lose all your motivation, right? Because you're not driven no more, because you're not being intentional about your purpose. So that intention is literally, I've used this analogy before. It's like that shuttle, right? That kicks off the rocket that keeps it going up to the moon, right? If you don't have that intention behind it, you're just like a chicken without your head. And what that looks like throughout the day. You're not probably half-assing all your tasks, right? You're making 20 calls. And if you think that's normal, pick up the phone and start dialing.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just like you you start to realize like the things that you need to get done. And when you are intentional and you have those pure intentions in mind, Nick, you know where you need to go. And when you know where you need to go, that's what makes a lot of things better, and you know you're on the right path. And the thing is, Nick, I think people, you know, let me ask you, what happens when someone doesn't know like how to be intentional? They don't know like what they're doing. Like what would I know where I want to be every day, right? I know where my goals, right? You just said that for your perspective, okay, I want to make 5 figures in my editing company, right? So I can start buying sub 2 properties. Well, you know where you need to do. You know what you need to do every day, and you know how to get there. So what if someone doesn't have like a set goal in mind? How can they be intentional throughout the day?
Yeah, good question, man. And we brushed on this throughout the other Back Your Beliefs. I encourage you guys to start watching all of them and go back. Great episodes, great episodes. But it really, bro, it comes down to this current location, right? This comes with a lot of brutal honesty, man. You have to hold yourself accountable, because who the fuck is gonna do it? No one else is gonna hold you accountable, because no one has as big of a dream as you have it. Right. And I'm going to start signing a lot of contracts with this pen. Shout out to Mr. Brzesi for making me this pen. But it just comes with knowing that current location. Okay, listen, I'm here, and it's totally okay that I'm here, because number one, I'm aware, right? I'm aware that I have Cheeto dust on my fingers right now, and I don't even feel like licking my fingers. Like, it comes to the point where it's shameful, right? I know I'm here. I'm aware of it. How do I get to, that 6-pack? Okay, you have to go to the gym, and you have to hit abs for 5 days out of the week, right? And you take those 2-day rest period. Oh, I like to work out at 5. You start to feel these out, right? You don't just jump into everything, but you start to feel out your routine. So you start to add, right? You can add that gym. You can add that stretching. And over time, you start stacking these wins due to being intentional.
Right.
And you develop a plan through that. But it's always developed, bro. I would just say the short answer for that whole question is just taking action. Like, can you describe a time where, you were thinking about where you were going to get to, and all you had to do was take action? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about something, and then like you just took that action, like you end up feeling a whole different way about it. For example, right? I can just say something like, if you were ever going on stage as a kid in school, right? And you fucking were freaking out. You were freaking out about it. And you go up, and Andrew Linder has the best choir voice known to mankind.
Facts.
Right. After, it's like not that big of a deal. Right.
Yeah.
It's because you took action, and you would never know if you didn't. So take some uninspired action, get out there, and surround yourself with good people.
Yeah, Nick, and I feel like, so what you're saying is, if I don't really know where I want to be, the first step is really to find like what I love to do, and then start being intentional about that. Is that like the step, right? I'm saying, like, I do not know my goals. I'm working my 9 to 5. I know I want to do something different, but I don't know what I want to do. I want to start being more intentional in my life. What do I start with, man?
Correct. Yeah. So appreciate that, because I didn't answer the question. You got to find what you love. That's the step one, right? But that doesn't mean no matter what I do, let's say I want to be an influencer. Let's say I want to be a real estate coach. Let's say I want to be a, athlete, right? It doesn't mean that my habits and my standards are going to be any different, right? So you can at least start there, right? If it takes time to find something you love, good. It should, right? This is something you want to do for the rest of your life. So it's very important.
Yeah.
That also means that you can work on your habits and your standards to develop you as to where you want to go. So whether that be, waking up at a certain time and getting healthy with the food you put in your body, the vitamins, right? The books you read, that doesn't really change based on what you love, right? You should always want to put good things into your body. So I think that's a great place to start as you look to see, what do I love doing? And that comes with right taking action. And, you know, you never know if you like spearfishing if you don't spearfish.
Yeah. And let me ask you, man. So this is what I think.
What do
I
you
think
think?
that so many people are scared to do something that doesn't have a guarantee to it.
You can say that again.
So I really do, man. I think
I was quite literally saying to say that
bro,
again. Yeah.
so many people are scared to do something that doesn't have a guarantee to it. And
Why
let
do you
me
think
tell
that
you,
is?
they're afraid to look dumb. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of all these things. Like imagine if we like there's no guarantee that we be successful in real estate, be able to close deals, be able to become closers, be able to do all these things that we're doing. There's no guarantee in that. But you have to take that leap of faith. How much can you bet on yourself? I'm putting I'm giving put all them chips. Push
Amen.
them all
There's
forward.
no there's no guarantee
Push
that
them
we
all
look this good. So it's really it's really like, do you believe yourself, and what's more valuable, right? And I'm gonna do this pendulum thing I like to do because it's interactive.
for the people at home. Kids are
Fear,
watching. It's a kid show.
right? Fear is way worse. I'd attack fear on head on based rather than regret, because regret is gonna come. It's gonna be painful, and it doesn't come until it's like an investment, bro. It's a bad investment. It doesn't come until you lost all your money and you see it right in front of you at once, and you're like, bro, I'm not getting any dividends. I'm negative on my bread,
Yeah.
and it's a hard pill to swallow, man. So
Right.
that's what pushes me more than the fear of failing. So that's what I would kind of put out to other people. I mean, it's, what it is too. And I know we're kind of getting off topic, but I like the conversation and we might end up talking about it on another episode. Is due to social media and like everyone sharing their successes and
Amen.
everyone looking amazing on social media at all times, you want to look
Amen.
the best on social media because you can control that, right? We've
Yeah.
created this universe, this alternate universe, as to where people don't think other people are failing. Like people don't think Pace Morby failed. People don't think Grant Cardone failed, but they
Facts.
failed more than any of us and they kept going.
Yep. Yep.
Guys.
That's it, dude. That's it. Everyone wants to have the 100 properties. Everyone wants to be a millionaire overnight, all these things. And they don't realize that it takes months and months and months and years and years and years of constant trial and error to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Constant, literally
You know?
constant, and it's funny because if you fail, no matter if you're failing or you're winning, you still have to be constant, right? So for example, Pace just posted a video and he was talking about like, oh, we just bought this house, and he said the date, it was like July 6th, and I'm thinking, wow, if this guy has content that he's just posting now from July 6th and he's just constantly been posting and posting, you just get so ahead of the curve but you never stop.
No.
Does that make sense? It doesn't mean you ever stop. You ever take a breath and let your foot off the gas.
And the reason is because he's super intentional in what he wants. He's super intentional. Okay, I need to keep posting content. Is the whole meaning of us hopping on here today and talking to you guys. Being intentional allows you to do so many things. It allows you to make the most amount of your time. You look at a guy like that who's super successful. He has super crazy schedule, right? Where people would fold instantly on, and he's producing all this content, making time for his family, doing all these things. Why? Because he's super intentional with what he has to get done each day. He's an amazing example, and I'm happy that you brought that up. But don't even look at him. Don't even look at him. Look at yourself in the mirror in the morning. Look at yourself. How can I be intentional today? Start with brushing your teeth in the morning with a passion unknown to mankind. Do something, right? And then keep adding on to these small wins and these small wins and these small wins. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you're a person who wakes up with a bag of Cheetos in your bed and you're getting up at 11 o'clock and you're going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're not doing anything but playing video games and watching Netflix and you're not in the gym and you're just, you need a complete life change. Tomorrow, you're not going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, start eating kale salads, right? Drinking athletic greens and getting to bed by 10 p.m. on a consistent basis. It's not going to happen. I'm just gonna throw that out there, buddy. It's not going to happen. So what you got to do is make a small change tomorrow. Then the next day, make another small change. And then another small change. And you keep making and you keep stacking these small wins because you're so goddamn intentional with where you want to be. That's when you become who you are. And that's what being intentional is all about. And you're looking at an example at Nick right there who's done it, who's living proof of it. Start being more intentional. Like, I'm out of here, man.
You're out of here, bro. I mean, listen, just to wrap it up, I think Cheetos should give us a bag for how much we've been talking about them. And I really hope there isn't many Cheeto fingers.
Cheeto dust off your fingers, man.
Yeah, we out. Episode 8.
In no books.
Let us know if you guys like shorter content, what you guys prefer, and we will see you next week for another episode of Back Your Beliefs.
Yes, sir.
Like and subscribe. Peace.